Good evening, all, and welcome to RPG Limit Break. Gosh, it's been a while since I've done any sort of thing here on here, but I'm Gregory Puff. I'm hanging out with Luffy, and we are starting the first week of the Duckling boot camp. And what this is this is not going to be a traditional race. No one's racing here. We're actually going to kind of teach new players, if you've never played the game before, or if you're familiar with the original game but are trying to get into the randomizer, this is the best time to be here, because we are teaching people that are not familiar with Final Fantasy Randomizer how to play the game. So, Luffy, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, Greg. Very excited to be here. This was a great piece of information and a resource for me when I was coming up as a duck last year, so I'm happy to be a part of this and see what our buddy Dead Pulse has tonight.
So what we're doing here is me and Luffy are going to be kind of going over the stream. Dead Pulse is going to be our runner. Dead Pulse will be chiming in here and there to talk about random stuff, but he will be living 5 seconds in the future, 5 seconds in the past. Where exactly does he live in comparison to what we're seeing?
He's going to be a little bit ahead of us.
Okay. Probably like 15, 20 seconds.
Yeah, good. Okay.
Yeah, so and Dark Moon is our restreamer, and that's who you just heard there. So we got all of us kind of hanging out here. Again, this is more just to kind of teach people the strategies of the game and how to read the website, because Final Fantasy Randomizer is a beast. There's a lot on there, as you can see, and that's not even everything expanded. And look at all those tabs on the left side there. So we're not going to go through like a ton of things. We're just going to point out stuff that's going on today. So first things first, when you pull up the website, you can see immediately you've got your goal here. Right below there, you can expand everything, so it just kind of opens everything up. Today's goal is pretty simple. We are killing the chaos. Oh no, there's our presets.
So many options, so much to do.
So many options, yeah. So yeah, a ton of options here. You of course you got your presets, which it explains what your presets are there. Goal today, we've got a shortened Topher. You can you got fiend tiles, and you oh my god, my god. And we also have tooltips, which is pretty awesome. So as you can see, Dark Moon's kind of going over the tooltips here. It tells you exactly what's going on. So shortened Topher means you don't have to do the whole thing. You just go into a room with all the chests in Topher. You go through that plate there that has the loot. So you'll just use the loot so you can get through there. You still have to have the mystic key to get through the other door. And then on each side, you'll just take on the fiends one at a time. So it doesn't matter which way you go, left or right, you'll still go in order. It'll be Lich, Carry, Kraken 2, and Tia 2. Anything you want to add before we move on? We want to make this kind of short because we don't want to.
Yeah, well, like you said, there is also going to be a Temple of Fiends exit right there. So if you do walk in and you want to walk out, you will have the ability to do that in the vanilla game, and in some of the versions of the randomizer, you cannot. So that's a neat little feature as well.
All right, so then let's go ahead and move to scale. And this is just basically enemy stats, gold, scaling, and encounter rate. Nothing too crazy we need to talk about there. It's all pretty self-explanatory. It's all percentages, right? The percentage in the parentheses is kind of the center of where everything is. So you can see that the enemies and the bosses are a little bit on the weaker side because their median is going to be around 80% of what they would normally have. Outside of that, the encounter rate 4 and 5 just means that it's half the encounter rate as the normal game. Don't want to get too much into that. If you have questions about it, obviously hit up the Final Fantasy Randomizer Discord, and we'll go into a whole thing about encounter rate. But just know, if you see a 0.4 and 0.5 like that, it just means you're getting half as many encounters as you normally would get. And then, of course, we boosted the experience with the 2.5 times plus 250, and we've got progressive scaling turned on. Every key item will get you another 5% experience per key item. And then there's like a bunch of stuff under that tab as well.
Yeah, all pretty standard fare right here. We're not going to go too crazy with the HP or the scaling of the bosses. We want you to enjoy the game and learn it up front. It can get progressively harder, and you can do some pretty crazy stuff with these sliders and make the bosses a little difficult.
So if we go to incentives here, all the incentive tab is going to tell you which locations will have key items and what key items will be incentivized. All right. And the main thing you want to look at is, of course, the locations, but then the numbers too. So if the numbers are equal, so you'll see 21 and 21, that means there are no loose key items floating around out there in a random treasure chest, and there's no dungeons that won't have a key item. Each dungeon that's checked off over here will have a key item, and one of those key items will be one of the things listed over in the right column.
And if you look as well, you see the placement listed as vanilla. One of the new flags that devs have come up with is either random chests or before gating and after gating. We'll get into what more of that means as we progress through this boot camp here, but just know vanilla means if there was an item in that chest in the original game, that's where the item is in this version.
So the ice cave would be the ice chest where the floater is. Ordeals is the tail chest where, the tail chest, and then Marsh Cave, of course, is behind the wizards and the crown chest, and so forth and so on. All right, so map edits, nothing too crazy I think we need to talk about here. It's going to be pretty standard stuff for what we do in Final Fantasy Randomizer. So over here on the overworld, you'll notice that early open progression is turned on. All that really does is that you can go from Canaria City over to Dwarf Cave. So there's like a little cut through in the mountain area there, so you can go to Dwarf Cave. Pretty much it. And then over on the the east side of the inner sea area, there will be a break in the river system between Volcano and Ice Cave, so you can actually sail the river system through there. Originally in the game, you wouldn't be able to get from Volcano to Ice Cave just solely through the river system. So that's basically what that means. And then Ryukon Desert Dock means you don't need the canoe to get in the air. It just puts a little dock right there below it.
Yeah, mentioning the ice cave river system, I played this so much I've forgotten that was even a thing in the original game. I've been so used to it. So it's a great little quality of life that our devs put in that's you're going to get used to playing and you're going to enjoy it a lot.
Yeah, progression there, you can get the king item before killing Garland. You can get the Sarda item before killing the Lich. You can get the Sarda item. Good lord, I cannot talk. The Sarda item before killing the vampire. You can get the Sage item before killing the Lich, and you can go to Ordeals without the crown. And then if you go under towns, this is one of my favorite new things that I think just needs to be on all the time, is that now you don't have to traverse around this gigantic city of Gaia to get to the item shop and to do all this other stuff. We've moved to item shop just right there near where level 7 magic is, and then we have a little shortcut so you can get right to the ferry, so you don't have to like wander around the entire city just trying to turn in the bottle. And then lastly, Lefaine's hospitality means we put an inn in Lefaine, which again, it's just, yeah, it's the second best city improvement besides the Gaia shortcut.
Yeah, it's another quality of life thing. In the original Lefaine, there was nothing you could walk into. You walk in, you get looped, you walk out. This puts an inn and a clinic there as well.
Yeah, no super sword, but maybe another time. Under treasures, I think this is again going to be pretty easy stuff here. Yeah, so item shuffle just means when just treasures is turned on, that means they take every treasure that's in the vanilla game, take it out of its box, throw it, just like, toss it around everywhere, and then put it in completely different boxes. That's all it means. Better spike treasure means that the stuff that's behind certain spike tiles will have better treasure. It's really the best way to describe it. And it takes certain items and throws it into that pool. Earlier ruby just means you'll get an earlier ruby, obviously. And that's pretty much it as far as this screen goes. Free bridge just means we obviously have a bridge that is free. You don't have to hunt it down.
Yeah, nothing really to add here. We're going to talk a little bit about shops and magic.
Yeah. Shop shuffle takes everything that's normally in shops, picks it up, shuffles it around, puts it back in different shops. Magic shuffle, same thing. Boom, take it all up, put it in different shops. the thing about Shuffle Magic levels that's really cool is you can get like an awesome spell like Nuke or Fade or like Cure 3 or Life 2 or whatever, and that stuff can land at level 1.
Yeah, anytime you get level 1 Nuke or Fade, you know it's gonna be fast.
Yeah, gonna be a good one. And that's pretty much it on this screen, so let's go on ahead and talk about enemies. Alright, so again, a lot of the same stuff here. Shuffle rarity, that's gonna mean that instead of having, it just basically means rarer enemies can be less rare now. So you may run into a T-Rex or a Warmack or an Iron Golem or something like that you would never normally see in the vanilla game, just out and about. Unrunnable formations, looks like we shuffled those, so normally certain encounters are unrunnable, and now they may not be, and a different encounter will be unrunnable. And same thing with the shuffle surprise bonus. Normally in the vanilla game, certain enemies always ambushed. Now we're going to have different enemies that always ambush. All this here that we've got shuffle script, shuffle skills and spells, and shuffle status attacks. All that means is, again, you're taking all the things that enemies normally do, get them out of their system, shuffle them up, throw them back in. So, you know, you can get imps with Nuke. You can get imps with Stone Touch or Death Touch. Whereas, you know, later enemies like the Evil Man that normally has Nuke may not do anything at all.
Yeah, nothing really to add here. It seems like we're moving along. Let's go check out party.
Yeah. All this means is, hey, we have a normal party selection. Nothing too crazy here. You can choose whatever you want to choose. Some of these, you can force some parties. You can start off with promoted classes. You can do all kinds of crazy stuff on this screen. But all this screen in its current state says right now is that pick whatever party you want to bring.
Yeah, we call this kind of like an open party selection here, where you're going to get access to all 6 characters. We're going to have some fun with this coming up in some other flags in the future.
Okie dokie. Classes. This is just kind of like buffing certain classes. We got half BB crit rate on. So half BB crit rate is something that happened with weapon fixes that kind of nerfs the BB a little bit because it's too crazy overpowered. And normally you would just grind to like 42 and then punch every enemy to death in like one turn. So that was just kind of like balancing the black belt out. We have that turned off, so the black belt's gonna be crazy. Double thief and ninja hit percentage growth was a way to balance the thief out because the thief sucks in this game. He's always sucked. There's nothing you can do about him not sucking. So we're bringing him up a little bit by giving him a little bit more hit percentage growth, trying to like maybe emulate like a dual wield kind of thing. Better thief and ninja agility is another way we've kind of balanced the thief out a little bit, just to give him a little bit, because he can't wear good armor either. So we've kind of given him better agility so he won't get hit as much. And then that's pretty much it.
Yeah, don't need armor. Don't need armor if you can't get hit, so I like it.
Lastly, gear and items. Not really lastly, I guess we got adjustments too. Gear and items. This is an area here where you can like potentially throw, you can get starting gear, which we don't have actually turned on, but you can have starting equipment if you want. You can start with consumables, like, you know, just like random, like how normal Final Fantasy games outside of this one work, where you don't start off with nothing. Maybe you could start off with like, you know, a couple pence or something like that. I don't know. And this kind of goes over everything if you want to look at the tool tips on the side there. The only thing I really want to point out is like in the vanilla game, if you used a house, you would only get like 120 HP. So we have full MP and HP restoration. And it's actually fixed too, because in the original game, if you used a house and then you turn the game off, you wouldn't have your MP because it gave you the MP before the save, which is dumb. So we fixed that.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that the original game intended that kind of got a little wonky that our wonderful developers have fixed. So if you're new to the randomizer, you're in for a treat here, because there's some stuff that never used to work that's going to work right.
Yeah, and then if you go down to the very bottom, I want to point this out too. Remember when I said something about weapon fixes? This is that balance as well. So originally the weapons didn't work the way that they were intended. It went off the weapon index, which is like where it was listed in the like the number that weapon was assigned when they were listing it in the game code or whatever. So it would have like a higher crit rate than it was supposed to have. So we kind of fixed that to go along with what the intentional crit rate was supposed to be. That's all that really means, right? That's all that really means. Just means the Vorpal is a better sword and every other sword kind of stinks as far as crit is concerned. And then the elemental bonus types actually work. So if you use a flame sword against, like an undead thing, it'll actually do more damage as opposed to doing nothing. So again, just more of the game was kind of buggy when it was released. It was made in '87. It was made super fast on a failing, developer. So a little buggy, and we kind of went through and corrected said bugs.
Yeah.
Lastly, adjustments, because there's nothing under beta that we need to worry about unless I have Thief. Do I have Thief lockpicking on?
You do.
Oh, then I guess we will talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Thief lockpicking. All right, we'll talk about it. So this again, is all just bug fixes. Nothing really to go over there. You can just look over that stuff, but it's basically everything I kind of already talked about. The MP restoration, the weapon stats, absorb calculation, just stuff that like we over here kind of take for granted in the randomizer because we haven't played vanilla in a million years, but those are the things that were broken in vanilla that we have fixed. And then over on the right side, you got your conveniences. And again, it's just some other stuff, but the ones I do want to talk about real quick that we have turned on is faster ship. So the ship goes as fast as an airship now. This thing hauls. It's really the best thing. It's one of the other great things about the game.
If you can say it goes as fast as the airship, I still feel like it goes faster, but that's just me.
It hauls. Buy quantity is turned on. So in the original game, if you wanted to buy 99 heals, you had to buy 1 heal at a time. We don't do that anymore. It's like a normal Final Fantasy game. You just go in there, you buy 99 if you want to buy 99. It's pretty awesome. And then NPC guillotine. If NPCs get in your way, you can just talk to them and they die. That's pretty awesome. And then we have chest information on and shop information, which is just there for the new players, so that if you're maybe not speedrunning, but you want to know like how much damage a weapon is going to do when you grab it out of a box, it'll have a little thing that'll be like, silver axe, 20 damage, X amount of crit, X amount of hit percentage or whatever. I don't know what its actual stats are, but that's kind of like that. And then and then shop information. If you go into a shop, any shop, and you want to know what the thing does, like you see a spell like Fade, and you're like, what does Fade do? That doesn't make any sense. You can hit the select button, hit select, and it tells you exactly what it does. It does 80 to 360 non-elemental damage.
Yeah, and you can see the red mage in that picture right there is raising his hands, and the white mage is raising her hands. That means that they will be able to use that spell. So if you're not sure what slot can go to which character, the handy little characters have raised their arms if they can actually use that spell, which is neat.
And this is actually, we're making pretty good time considering this is our first week boot camp, and we've done this for 20 minutes. So thief lockpicking, all that means is you just set a level, and the thief can get into key locked areas without the key once they hit that level. Done.
Yep.
And
takes out the need for a key.
Yep. And so these are the flags that we will be releasing tonight after this gig, or after the show, whatever we're doing here, with a seed that we've already vetted. It'll go in the Duckling weekly, and it's asynchronous. You don't have to do it right away. It's just out there, and then, just whenever you have time, click on the thing, make sure the hash matches up so that you're actually running the right seed, and then just run through it. Go to, whenever you're finished, the timer, go under there, hit a question mark, submit, put a space between that and the time, and then just put in your time, 2 hours, 2 minutes, 2 seconds. That simple. And it'll put you into a spoiler chat, and you can talk about how the seed went for you. And it'll set up a little leaderboard and everything. And that leaderboard is going to be managed by our new Duckling on, because I am going to go on ahead and step down. I have been doing the Duckling program now for the last year, 2 years, 3 years, 2 years, 2 years.
At least 2.
At least 2 years. So I've been doing it about little bit over 2.5 years. And so I have decided that I'm going to take a little bit of a break. I know, it's sad. I'm not leaving. I'm going to be hanging out doing races and participating in tournaments and stuff. I just wanted to go on ahead and get move the reins over to somebody that could potentially have new ideas for everything, and keep the program going without me getting too burnt out on it. And that, of course, I mean, there's only a few of us in here. So if you had to take a wild guess, I think it's going to be Dead Pulse. Dead Pulse is going to be our new Duckling Don. Dead Pulse, how you doing?
Oh, I'm wonderful. You guys did a good job explaining the flags. And I want to quick interject something before we continue, is that Jat2980 made an in-depth VOD of all of these flags. I know that when I started Final Fantasy Randomizer, there were less options, but it was still very intimidating to make my own flags and to figure out what everything means. If you have any further questions about that, go on over to the Final Fantasy Randomizer Discord under the new player channel, as well as the Winter Duckling Derby. It's pinned in there. You can watch Jet explain pretty much everything that this website has to offer.
Yes, I agree. Jet is really awesome, as Rich Fork in chat is saying. He is a wealth of knowledge, and he also speaks so articulately about the game. He's such a it's just awesome. Watch the videos. You'll be like, oh my gosh, this guy's a literal fountain of knowledge, as Elmarkin says in chat. Way better at describing this stuff than I did. So, but one of the main things we're going to start doing, so tonight, before we get into the seed, anybody that's out there and you're watching this, tonight, obviously we're going to post the Duckling seed. That's what Dead Pulse is going to do. I'm going to work on him with that. We're going to get that out there at the end of the broadcast. Then we're going to open up a Duckling Derby room for 2020. The Duckling Derby is going to run for 5 weeks. It's going to be between January 3rd and February 6th. So those 5 weeks. We're going to do things a little bit differently this year, because one of the main things that I've been struggling with running the Duckling Derby for the last 5 turns is just trying to find a day that everybody can race. So instead of doing one big giant race, we're going to do 2 big giant races. So we are going to release a survey. We're going to release a document with all the rules, all the flags that are going to be existing out there. And you need to fill out the survey that we are posting if you are planning on participating in the Duckling Derby. That is the way that we are going to put you into whatever race you're going to be racing. So you will be assigned a race, as opposed to me giving you one date that you have to eventually show up for. So there will be 2 races, and the top 2 from those 2, I guess, tournament bracket, whatever things, right? At the end of the 4 weeks, we'll do one last kind of like Duckling Supreme race in week 5. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty insane. It's gonna be different. Hopefully, with this time around, we'll be able to actually get everybody to participate that wants to participate, as opposed to what happened to, I feel like it was Phoenix last time. That wasn't available, and he was like, no, or maybe was out of town for like the week or whatever. It was Phoenix. See, I knew it was somebody. Who it was just released, hey, we're going to do it on Sundays, and he's just like, I can't do Sundays, it's just not possible. So hopefully with 2 races a week, everybody that signs up will be able to do it, will be able to participate. So without further ado, now that we're 25 minutes in, get going. So Deadfall's on his screen. He's got his party. He's got a fighter, thief, white mage, black mage. Tell us your thoughts on this before we hop into everything.
So the quick rundown is that we have an incentivized mass immune. So my win condition basically is going to be getting my fighter up to level 24. That'll get me 5 hits with it. Get the mass immune for the fighter, as well as having a fast caster. So the only way I'm guaranteed fast is if I take a black mage, because it could roll, level 7, level 8. Maybe not red mage learnable. So then my second thought is I need to make sure I have my black mage alive going into chaos. So I'm going to take a white mage, so I have a guaranteed life cast. So if at least the white mage lives through one of the fiend fights, even though the black mage, even if the black mage is level 35, they're not going to have over 400 health. They might not survive a nuke. So my whole goal is just to get the fighter and the black mage to chaos, cast fast, swing away, and win within 4 turns. I'm picking the thief here because with thief agility plus 80, it really makes a difference with ambushing a secondary tank up in the front, as well as just being able to run from things.
Yeah,
Plus
so the agility
picking at 10. Oh my.
Yeah,
exactly. So those are definitely the things. Getting to level 10 and being able to bypass the key is going to be huge here. Having that extra 80, I don't think what causes certain packs to ambush you is checked on your agility. So having extra 80 agility right there, certain those packs won't ambush you quite as much as they would with like a different party. So I think I agree with this. I like it. Let's do it.
But I already said that if Nuke rolls level 1, I'm re-rolling. So we'll see what happens.
All right.
So I can go. Is that it? Are we good?
Yeah. You knocked yourself out.
go when you're ready.
So Dead Pulse is going to kind of go like he's just running a normal race. He'll probably slow down here and there to talk about certain just little tiny aspects here. So I'd like him to slow down in this first shot just so you can see the hands going up. So you can see you got a heal 3 there, which is an amazing spell, and you'll notice that the hand goes up on the white mage. That just lets you know that you can learn that spell there. And then we've got Fast, Zap, and Warp. So a bunch of really awesome spells. Zap, it's going to be a good way to kill things in the early game. Time Elemental Sweeper. It's got not the greatest accuracy, unless of course you're a light warrior.
Yeah.
If you're a white mage without a ribbon, then that'll definitely land on you.
Looks like he's going to pick up Harm 3 as well. Underrated spell, Harm 3. It's not going to do you a lot of good in normal fights, but you're going to run into quite a bit of undead here in the early game, and having any kind of extra sweeper there to get rid of them is going to be nice.
Yeah. So he was just kind of slowly again going over all the items that were in that shop there, so you could see, that the hands were up on the light warriors to show you what items can you hit a select real quick too? He's
a little in the future, so maybe
he's a little in the future. Yeah, there you go. If you hit select, it'll show you right there exactly the attack hit hit percentage and crit rate of each bit of whatever. And then the same thing with the armor, it'll tell you what the absorb and the evade is. All right, so then lastly, go into here and just, standard stuff, heals, cures. You will always have softs and cures in Canaria in case for whatever reason, something stinks out here, and you need softs and cures. They will always be in Canaria, just so you know.
Something else you'll notice about Dead Pulse right there as he was walking toward Temple of Fiends, he was taking a somewhat specific path. There are a lot of free tiles here in the early game that you can walk on and not advance the encounter table, and we'll get into what that is a lot as we get through the boot camp here. But you'll see a lot of veteran runners and runners with kind of a routine, kind of walk the same path to Temple of Fiends there because they know that they're not advancing their encounter table.
So, and already Dead Pulse is doing things so quickly. He checked those 3 chests there, used Warp to get out of there, and then saved. Quicker to do that than obviously walking out of there. There goes Zap coming out. First turn, exiles Garland to the 4th dimension, and Garland's gone. You'll notice another thing that Dead Pulse was doing. He was running with everybody and throwing Harm 3 out. And just the reasoning behind that is just to kind of go quicker. Like if you can get away, great. If the Harm 3 goes out, awesome. You killed some things, you're getting some levels and stuff like that.
So we got ourselves a canal and a ship there from the King and Sarah, and right away you get see that speedboat in action.
Yeah, that speedboat's just...
Oh, it's so good.
And so 99% of the time, once you've got the boat, or basically once you can get out of Canaria, you go straight to Provoca. You got level 2 magic, so you can check that out. We got Cure 4, really, really phenomenal spell here. And then again, he's going to go over what each spell does there. So hitting the select button.
And Cure 4 is going to be night learnable as well, if and when we can promote, which is going to be handy.
Same with that. So we got our first like kind of sweeper that I like to call going to actually do damage sweeper in the Ice 3. Ice 3, obviously the best elemental spell in the game, but you'll learn that a lot of things resist ice. So it's good. It's like, and then you got Bane there, which is a good way to take down either Kraken or Tia. Not a good way, like a okay way.
Yeah, Bane's one of those insta kills. It's not quite as good as Brack, but it is multi-target versus single target, so it's got its utility.
Yeah. So you'll notice here, he always runs, even though you can't run away from pirates. It's actually quicker to try to run away from something than to attack it and know not to kill it. It just saves you a few frames when you're speed running. So there's our chime. That gets us in a Mirage Tower. We can't get in a Mirage without the airship, but at least it's a go mode item, so we know we need the chime in order to beat the game. Very expensive houses here. That's unfortunate. Yeah. That's almost vanilla prices right there.
Yeah, it's pretty expensive.
Yeah, and chat's pointing out that that Deadpool's picked up Hold. You don't see a lot of people picking up Hold, but Hold is a okay, so we got pro rings here, chain armor, pretty good stuff. Hold is a status elemental spell, a status elemental, and Carry, the second boss, the volcano boss, is actually weak to status elementals. So Hold is a good way. If you don't have a good way to like take her down, you can at least paralyze her, and then maybe like chip some damage away that way. So it was a good pickup. May not even use Hold, but since it was level 2, and may as well grab it just in case.
Also there at level 2, Black Magic was Saber, which will be good for the Ninja if and when we get to promote.
There's Temper at level 3, so we've got a good good sweeper in the Ice 3, so at least we have a way to kill things. Unfortunately, I could see it. We should be finding like places like Earth Cave, Marsh Cave, and Ice Cave, but
we got Harm 3 too. It's fine.
Yeah, everything's fine. So it's not the world's most the greatest magic in the world. No nukes or fades so far, but we do have some great spells in that Ice 3, in that Warp. We've got Fast and Temper in early levels, which is always good to see, especially for the late game. And I mean, I hate pointing out that the Ninja's going to be self-sufficient with Temper, Saber, and Fast at level 1, or level 1 through 3. All right, so hopped into Alpha and checked those things out. Notice that he didn't check level 4 yet. He didn't have the money for level 4 or for the item, so there's no reason to like walk all the way through Elfland just to find out that you can't afford a good spell there anyway. May as well come back when you have money. And so the first thing that Deadpulse is doing right here, he's showing you that there's going to be no encounters if you do what's called hugging the wall. When you go into any room in a dungeon and you go along the southern part of the wall here, you are never ever going to get an encounter. You also don't get encounters in doorways, and you don't get encounters in front of doors.
So you see a lot of runners when they're going and routing, they'll walk in front of a door, they'll kind of walk inside and around the bottom of the room there. That's all kind of ingrained into us as our pathing, because we know that we're not going to get an encounter there, like Greg is saying.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to keep it moving here. Going to probably just check these 4 chests here. Obviously, the incentive, that chest there, and then these 2 chests here. That room that he passed was actually the link to the chest that's in this room that he just checked just now. Just why he didn't check that first room. And then, of course, we're going to see our vanilla spike tile here in Wizards. Normally they are, of course, unrunnable, but he is able to run away from the game. And now we have a crown, which is this game even randomized.
Yeah, right.
Ooh, Pro Cape. That is not a normally checked in this particular run, but that was actually a really great pickup there. And that level 1 warp working out really well. You can go ahead and get out of here. And we should have enough magic to take down Astos here, huh?
Yeah, I think we got maybe 1 shot of Ice 3, I think a couple shots of Bane if we get lucky. Astos has kind of high M def, so he'll resist Bane more so than any of the early enemies in the early game would normally, but it can hit still.
Yeah, I mean 50 to 150. Ice 3, if he's got 2 casts of Ice 3, he should be able to take Astos down.
Yeah.
I mean, Astos is going to roll around like 140, 150 HP.
Yeah.
Ooh, fire 2.
Okay.
Scary. Takes down the Black Mage normal. Notice how he immediately resets after he realizes that the Black Mage is dead. The good thing about this battle, though, is because we did save right out front. I don't know. We just need turn order here. So,
yeah.
Ooh, so that 125 Ice 3 did not actually kill him. Stinger comes out. That's actually good.
And then it's a free turn.
And there we go.
All right, so that's an early cube and an early chime, Greg.
Yep. Again, we don't have the airship right away, but once we do, we can go straight to sky if we want to. Again, Deadpool's getting some of the more spells that you don't normally see people pick up. I like the level 1 pure pickup there because you do have the white mage anyway, and you're saving yourself from buying pures. It's not like picking up a level 4 pure in the vanilla game where it costing $4,000 is actually the cost of like 52 pures in the in the game. So there's like no reason to actually pick the spell up. All right, so now that he has a little bit of money here, let's see. I didn't catch how much money he had, but he should have enough to be able to check level 4 and maybe the shop item.
About 5,000, maybe.
Yeah, it was 5,500. So wall maybe, Invis 2.
Wall probably more handy than Invis 2, but I mean, he'll probably check Black Magic. Yeah.
Invis 2 is definitely a phenomenal spell in certain situations. I don't think it's great here because of what level it's at and the enemy scaling.
Yeah. We got some 10s too that are on the cheap-ish side, so that's okay.
I mean, if we had a full Topher, there would be like, hey, maybe pick up Invis 2.
Yeah, yeah.
But with short Topher, I mean, you could just go in and bum rush the enemies. Plus, we've got like a fast temper and all that stuff. No warp, so he has to save the game. Couldn't warp out of the city. But the good thing is that now he doesn't ever have to come back into Elfland again. No triple dive of the Elfland.
Yep.
So now we're looking kind of what we have. We have Chime Cube. The only other thing we really have is we have an Incentive of Earth open, right? And we have the Sages that we can talk to.
Yeah, I think that Sages will be our first stop here. We might save like at this point right around here by the peninsula and then go over there and see what the Sages have and then maybe do a quick reset back.
Yeah, I agree here. So I was actually about to say that, and I'm sure Deadpulse was going to chime in as well. You know, if you had to choose between going into an Incentive Earth without the rod and going to Sages, well, let's go to Sages. But I do like the heads up play doing the save right kind of outside of Melman here. That way, if you like come into the city and it ends up being like the tail or like the Oxiel or just something you don't really need right now, he can reset back to that area and then go hit up Earth Cave.
Yeah, these are all kind of like later tech kind of things that you see him doing, the saving here, the warping out of towns and dungeons, but this is veteran stuff, but it's good things to see early and kind of build that into your kit early on.
All right, so no shop item here. We got iron armor, gold bracelets, so now we know where gold bracelets and pro rings and all that jazz are.
Yeah.
Gonna check the magic just to see if there's anything here that you might want to pick up. Fade being as high a level as it is, it'd be interesting to see if you come back for it. You're not gonna get it until level 16. Same thing with Quad X. Quad X is a great spell kind of early on, but you hate to see it kind of at that high level because you're really Hail Marrying if you're throwing a one of your level 6 Quad X's at something. There's our key.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, it kind of negates one of the awesome reasons why we brought the thief in the first place. So gonna keep the key here because he's gonna. Oh, he's showing an NPC guillotine, by the way.
Yeah.
You didn't notice that one guy died there, but the key is gonna keep because he can check obviously keylock chests now, and keylock canary is incentivized. So
yeah, it's something that he could have waited to get to level 10, but I mean he already has the key, so there's really no point in not keeping it.
Yeah. And of course, our tracker is not tracking. So we're gonna hopefully get somebody to help us out here so we can keep track of what's going on. But yeah, I mean, what would you like? Yeah, like in this situation, you go to Earth Cave, potentially double dip Earth Cave, try to get levels so you can get the level 10, and then yeah, I don't think you leave the key on. You get the key, you check boxes.
Yeah, I think
You get your incentive item.
You're getting steered into Earth Cave right here where you really don't want to go. So, I mean, we're probably going to find something movement in there, whether it be the floater or the canoe, because we're kind of running out of options.
Yeah. I mean, you're still, yeah. I mean, you still. Ooh, iron armor. That's a pretty big pickup there. You still have Canaria locked. And again, you're not going to want to go into Earth Cave without a rod unless you 100% have to. And that can like the only issue with having, if you go into flag crafting, you want to make your own flag. That can be one of the issues with having Earth on without Northern Docks on, is that you could potentially have to do a double dip of Earth. And one of the ways I tried to negate that was to do an earlier Ruby, which unfortunately we haven't seen yet. But we could potentially get the Ruby from La Canaria.
We could. We're going to get something useful here. It's pretty much guaranteed. We're not going to find the ribbon. We're not going to find the massa. This is going to be progression somewhere.
Yeah. So Deadpool's running in here. Of course, the TNT box is going to be our incentive item, and it's the slab. So yes, we are into a forced double dip of Earth.
He's got level 1 warp, so at least he's going to be able to jump out of there on the quicker side. But this is definitely a. I'm sorry.
But chat pointing out, Ailmarker pointing out, with the level 1 warp, it's going to definitely be a lot easier. Plus, the encounter rate's pretty low. He'll probably only 4 encounters total on the way to the vampire, and he has a way to kill the vampire with Zap and Harm 3. So it's not going to the end of the world, but he is definitely like thinking about, oh, maybe I should grab some gear for this for this run here. So he's actually, you don't see a lot of this in an FFR run, but he's actually picking up weapons in shops.
Yeah, you don't see much of that, and it's definitely the Silver Sword is a really great early to mid game weapon there. It's going to do quite a bit of damage, especially with fast and temper against these early bosses.
Yeah. So we're going to find out right now. Petron wondering what kind of gross things are we going to see in these enemies in Earth Cave. Gonna be something.
Yeah. No comment.
Yeah. Deadpool hopefully remembers on the way out of here to talk to Dr. Yoon, get that slab translated. They'll want to get looped later on in the game.
I'm sure he will. He just doesn't want to open boxes just yet, or talk to him just yet.
So yeah, Twinstrumental in chat pointing out the music you're hearing is created by me and him. Old Twinstrumental and I basically put a whole album out of Final Fantasy 1 covers, and that's what is playing currently. So here's our first unrunnable encounter that isn't normally unrunnable in the game, and that's these asps. Luckily, they don't have a dumb script on them, like Nuke.
Yeah.
He's able to, just ice through him down and call it a day.
So as you see him walking through right here, just to point this out, he's walking a specific path. The Earth Cave has a lot of twists and turns and useless rooms and hallways, so he's going to walk a pretty specific path here, hugging certain walls and kind of following his routing. So again, little more on the more advanced stuff here you see him doing, but it's definitely handy to learn.
Yeah, so and of course, because he has to double dip Earth, he is going to he's going to hit 2 unrunnable encounters. He's going to do a harm 3 on these mummies. One of the harm 3s is not going to kill the mummy, and that mummy wasn't targeted by his thief or his knight, so he's going to have to do 2 rounds of that battle, even though he should not have had to do that. That is your standard FFR nonsense right there. So we got a couple of attacks coming out here. Harm 3 will probably seal the deal.
There you go.
Almost level 10. Not that really matters too much now that we have the key. Oh, come on. You gotta hate the encounter right after the fire.
What do you think, Greg? We got Ruby or Canoe right here.
I'm guessing Ruby and then Canoe. Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
Is this game even randomized again?
Vanilla Ruby, Vanilla Crab.
Vanilla's crab. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's our earlier Ruby that we get, as our second to last item that we can possibly pick up here.
Mm-hmm. All right. So Ruby gets access to Titan's tunnel over here. Something you'll see as you walk in here. The Titan is moved from his original location in the vanilla game. He was a little closer to this midpoint of the cave where Deadpool just took the encounter. So if you ever got the airship, you would have not needed the Ruby to go through Titans to see what he's got in his closet. But the devs have moved him.
So because Titan Strove is not incentivized, Deadpulse isn't even going to bother checking those 4 chests, at least right now. He may check them later. And if he does, I imagine he'll save before going into the cave, check the boxes in either Tears or Canoe, of course.
Yeah, there it is.
So Warp, obviously, worth its weight right now. Just unbelievable, useful spell as he's just able to get in and out of places, go places quicker. Obviously, like I said before, he saved here, so he's going to check these boxes. If they stink, he's probably just going to reset. If he likes what he sees, he'll use the Warp spell, and it'll essentially be a reset.
Yeah, so he's going to probably hang on to that opal gear, maybe sell that for some money to pick up some spells here at level 5.
So right now, we've basically guaranteed that whatever leads to the floater will be coming out of Ice Cave, because Ice is incentivized here. Now, it's not going to be the floater, or it can be the floater, because, it may as well be, because everything else has been vanilla so far. But it may not potentially be the floater. It could be something like the herb. It could be the crystal. It could be the TNT or the adamant. So, we still have a couple of fetchies out there, as they say.
Yeah.
Nothing great there. Fire 3 is in the warp slot, which means we have to wait until promotion to get it. But that Life 2 is pretty good to see at level 5.
So what do you think? You think he's going to go to Ice Cave? I see him going to Ordeals here.
And I did forget that Ordeals was even a place. So knowing Deadpulse, there's no way he's going to Ice Cave right now. Even with Warp, he could literally go in there, see like 2 encounters, use the Warp trick, and warp out of there. I still don't see him going to Ice Cave before going to Ordeals. So again, with the Canoe, 9 times out of 10, you'll see people go this way. And you'll notice Deadpulse doing another thing that saves you encounters. So every time you go into the river and then pop out of the river, you do not get an encounter. So going in, you won't get an encounter. Coming out, you won't get an encounter. So that little zigzag area, if you just go in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out like that, you will never pick up an encounter doing that. And as Elmarkin lovingly calls it, that's the river dance. And there's our level 10. Holy moly, we've got our thief lockpicking. Too bad we already have.
Yeah.
All right, so the only thing of note we have to talk about with Ordeals is that the pillars are randomized. So good luck in here. So normally in the game, it would always be the most southern pillar in whatever room you're going to, but it's randomized now. So as you can see, it was the bottom pillar there. In the other room, it was the top pillar. So you usually do something like, bottom, top, kind of keep it in your head. 1, looks like it was that first pillar there. So that's nice. And then the bottom pillar, look at that, only lost 1. Impressive.
Very nice. So oh boy.
Oh no, Argoyles being a little bit ruder than they are in vanilla here.
Yep.
Immediately murdering the thief. Scott opening up with mute. Oh, get out of here with your nonsense. Thief is not gonna. Luckily we got away. We shouldn't see any more encounters besides, of course, this nightmare. And the
Zombie dragon, right?
Zombie D, yeah.
Yep.
Nightmare opening up with dark, which is like a it's almost like the spell it normally does, which is snorting. So that's kind of cool. And Mark could point out in chat the the Argoyles, helping Deadpulse decide he needs to go with the 3-man strat.
I mean, Thief is not exactly useful now anymore with the lockpicking and the key already found, so it's fine.
So another thing I do want to point out, just super duper quick, is you saw a zombie D here. That is actually like the super rare encounter on this floor. Obviously, you fight a forced zombie D here. Adamant, there we go. But that's like the super rare encounter. That just goes to show like that shuffled script thing that we have going on here. So Deadpulse had an option here to try to figure out exactly how to take down the zombie D. Decided to go with fasting his knight so that the knight would do a little bit more damage as opposed to trying to throw a zap down at him. And there goes another NPC guillotine. Get rid of that guy.
All right, you're gonna head on.
Yeah, or would he have disappeared because of the crown anyway?
I mean, the world may never know.
So there's a couple of schools of thought here. You could go to Ice Cave and then not double dip Wharf Cave, but if you're doing a 50-50, getting to Ice Cave is a big pain in the butt on the river system. You'd rather take the risk that this adamant here is going to be what you need, as opposed to like sailing all the way to Ice Cave, because it really is kind of to get to Ice Cave without the floater.
It's a little out of the way. You can dock at a river system and kind of cut a little bit of the trek out, but I mean, this is definitely the quicker of the two checks.
Bridge boss at 25 minutes. We get to finally see the all our developers and all that fun stuff. Gonna go on ahead, get about 15,000 gold. That's huge.
That's pretty good.
We spared the Hooray Dwarf. I don't know who Deadpulse is, and there's our tail. Totally not useful.
All right, well,
he's getting really upset right now. He does not want to go to he does not want to go to Ice Cave at all.
Man, I'm sorry that I rolled this for you, Deadpulse. The forced double dip of Earth, the forced Ice Cave. I'm sorry.
All right, no houses means he has to hop into Melman super quick just to get all his charges back. And then he's going to go the vanilla way. So this is the normal way you would go to Ice Cave. Is this kind of weird river dock that he's about to hit up here. So we're not going to actually, I mean, we may see the map edit that we have, if he gets the floater out of here. But, I mean, we're not going to get the floater out of here. Not in this race. We are getting either the TNT, we're getting TNT, right? What would be the most annoying fetch quest to get around? Would it be herb to crystal to TNT? Or would it be crystal to TNT to herb? It's got to be herb or crystal to the other one and then TNT.
Yeah, it's one to the other. Crystal to herb because you got to go north and then go south again and then have to go back north to the TNT. So yeah, that would be the worst.
So traversing the river system here, getting to everyone's favorite nightmare. Everyone in chat right now, their 10-year-old self is having PTSD as we speak because we are heading into Old Earth Cave.
Oh boy, sweet Ice Cave.
Yeah, Goat's pointing out some encounter manip. I mean, we could talk about it a little bit, but I don't want to get too bogged down in encounter manipulation right now when we're just trying to teach people the basics of the game. Especially with the encounter rate as low as it is, you don't really need to worry about it. Deadpool's going the absolute wrong way here. Nobody goes left and down. Everyone goes down and left.
Yeah, what are you doing?
What is even happening here?
He's about to show you a nice little trick here too that you can use with Warp. A nice little utility provided that he can get through this nasty undead pack right here.
The thing that's nasty about this pack is, like in the original game, these guys would have stun touch and whatever, but there's 4 chances that one of these fools has some sort of ugly script or
some sort of garbage.
Exactly. I don't know what's up with the Sarius, to be perfectly honest. And of course, hey, at least we didn't run away, so we can actually get the EXP from this battle.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Take it.
All right, so using his cures in that slot at the heal 3, this is nice. Make sure you keep enough warps. So normally you wouldn't have warp at this point of the game, so you wouldn't be able to do this. But use warp there, boom, you're back here in this hole. And then you can check these 3 boxes here, get the herb. Hey, dragon arm.
Nice. We got our tail too, so that's going to be real nice. Dragon armor, the best armor for a knight to wear in the game, so that's super handy.
But that's for the knight, so we got to do class change. But we do have the tail, so once we get in the air, we can go on ahead, do class change, get that Aegis shield, get the pro ring, get your dragon armor. You basically got a poor man's ribbon. The only thing you're missing is earth elemental and no, you're missing time elemental and earth elemental.
Yeah,
Action. Pretty sure that's right.
Yeah, it sounds right. Yeah.
About right. All right, so yeah, again, because I'm a prophet, and the worst things that could possibly happen are always going to happen. It's the old Murphy's Law here. We get the herb out of here, so let's see what the herb turns into. Maybe it could just be the floater, and we can just call it a day. But we still again have that TNT or crystal out there, so let's see what happens.
Let's see what else is incentivized. So we've done Ice Cave now, we've done Ordeals, we've done Marsh, we've done Earth, we've done Canary. So Sea Shrine and Sky are the last two incentive locations. And so we're still missing what? Loot and Oxyel for Go mode?
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, I'm thinking
Rod,
that, Oh yeah, we got Rod too. I forgot because of the double dip for it. So yeah, this herb is going to either lead to floater or lead to something that leads to floater. It's not going to be loot or Oxyel though, because we're going to need something in order to get access to those dungeons.
Yeah. Exactly. So, we still have quite a few places left once we get in the air. We're going to have Waterfall available. We don't have Oxyel, so we won't have Sea available, but we do have Sky available, and we can turn in the slab as well. So, and then, it's just kind of right now, just turning in all these fetch quests and stuff. So, without further ado, do we get a crystal or a TNT, or can we just please get in the air?
Okay.
There we go. All right.
And we're part of the southern dock too, so this is nice.
Yeah. So French vanilla a floater there. Is it's not quite out of Ice Cave, but whatever.
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah. So no warps. Deadpool's just crushing it here.
Yep.
Brings the thief back alive, obviously, because we're about to do class change here. And we're going to want to get at least a couple of spell charges on that thief to use the fast temper, all that jazz here. Yeah. So first place I imagine he's going to go. We still haven't found the vendor item either. We could turn in the slab. We could go to Sky, or if we wanted to, we could check the caravan for the vendor item. But it looks like first thing he's going to do is obviously do class change, like we mentioned before.
Yeah, this makes the most sense right here. We've had that tail in our inventory for a little while now, so we're definitely going to want to go here, be able to throw on that dragon armor. We don't really have any class changeable weapons yet that we're going to be able to swing, but once we come across a katana in a box, hopefully, or when we do find that incentive master that is our win condition, we'll be able to use that right away, even though the master is equipable by every class to begin with.
Yeah. So as you can see, we went on ahead, did the class change, can move some stuff around. The thief can actually pick up that armor, or that iron armor, which is awesome. And then, we're the dragon and Aegis. That's lightning, fire, ice, and stone magic protection. So pretty dope, we say. And then just kind of going over everything, you can look at the status and see how much just better you're equipped here. And then going in before level 15 means that we can have all of our charges by level 21. It's 15, 17, 19, and 21. So yeah, starting at level 15, you will get a charge of your magic spells for your knight and your ninja. And every odd level after that, you will obviously get another charge until you have 4.
All right, looks like we're going to go to Lefane here, but we're going to check the encounter zones here, and we find some steak.
Yeah, so we like to call these guys steak. No idea why. It predates me, but it does. Steak. It's
food.
It's a dinosaur. It's food. Exactly.
Yeah.
Opening. Ooh, glance. Luckily, it missed.
Yeah, it's a little gross.
So I guess because we got a pretty quick encounter off the hard reset here, Deadpool's going to try to pick up some levels here. Just kind of show you how you can pick up levels around the desert area. There's 4 encounter zones around here, and there's some pretty juicy EXP encounters like sandworms, T-Rexes, Yeah, and then of course the steak and wings pretty decent as well. But those are the two main ones: the sandworms and the T-Rexes.
Yeah.
So heading down to Lefane, we did the slab translation. There's our inn and our clinic over there that he just wandered past. And let's see what we got here.
Oh, we got loot. Okay.
So required, we are 2 items away from go mode here. You need the loot to play in front of that little plate there in your short topher in order to get to the bosses. You need the key normally to get through that door right after it to get to your bosses. And then of course you need the rod for Earth Cave, Chime and Cube for Sky, and Oxyale for C. And then in this particular flag set, you are going to need obviously the canoe and the floater to get to certain dungeons as well. So those are kind of your go mode items. So he's here checking all 4 of the encounter zones around here. So far, not very good. We got stakes on the top right. We've got this R Anklo encounter on the bottom right, and then
Second encounter there in the bottom right.
and it looked like we had like regular anklos up in this area here. I couldn't tell if that was the first or the second encounter. Yeah. So the only encounter zone we haven't seen is the bottom right or bottom left. I mean,
that's the steak and wings top left too, and the second encounter. It's fine. Yeah,
you should be fine here. This is a little bit of a risky play coming in here because we don't really have a great way to kill a lot of the enemies here, but you can get great experience in Sky. So we'll see how he decides to take things down as we move along here.
The incentive item is in its vanilla location here up on the floor above this one after we go through the cube. So we will be able to get to that provided we can get through some of these encounters like Greg was saying. And then we'll see what he decides to do, although I think those bad men may have just made the decision for him.
Well, that was ridiculous. Not only did his thief bother to not run away from the encounter, like blowing like a 95% chance of running away, but those bad men were like targeting over and over his bottom row, which is like a 12% chance each time.
Yeah, 12.5, I think. Yeah.
So it's pretty unlikely that would have happened. Taking this battle, I like taking this battle. A, the Ice 3 works really well against the Nightmares, and B, the Evil Men give great EXP if he can kill them. Trying to think about what he wants to do there, because he needs to like preserve some of those Bane charges, because I'm assuming that's going to be one of the ways we're going to try to take down Tia here. Yeah. So here is our incentive, which is a bottle.
Okay.
Luckily, we're next to Gaia, so that's not a huge thing here.
Yeah.
Deadpulse, knowing he doesn't want to waste too many resources in this dungeon, not really checking a lot of boxes.
This fighter's evasive here too.
Yeah, and breaks out with slow. Luckily, we have fast here, so should be able to take it down. But yeah, he's going to try to get out of here.
Yeah.
That sucks. That's a pretty good encounter for EXP.
Fighter is pretty lucrative, yeah.
Recheck. Got Chimera. We got Ice 3. May as well take it down.
Yeah, that'd be okay.
Ooh, Chimera just smacked the...
They got more than 300 HP, give or take.
Yeah. Oof. A lot more. Oh!
Okay, there we go.
Old 90.
Oh boy.
Was that Death Touch? I couldn't tell. I just
thought it hit really hard, yeah.
No, that was Death Touch.
Oh,
well, hey, at least Chimeras, and you pretty much won't ever see them anywhere else ever again except for that floor.
Yeah, or in Temple of Fiends.
Well, remember, we got Short Topher.
Oh, you're right.
No.
Touche.
So let's get away from this stuff. And we're just going to hope that Tia 1 wants to play nice.
Yeah.
Or, maybe these other battles will play nice as well. I don't think Deadpulse is interested in Warmech right now. I think that's the last thing Deadpulse wants to see on this Bridge of Destiny is a Warmech at level 15.
Yeah.
All right, so interested to see what we're going to do. We do have a life 2 charge, so we can bring up kind of a meat shield here. If we had a Dragon Sword, that'd be a good way to deal with Tia, but it looks like we're going to go full-on damage. I like this plan. Silver Sword. We're going to fast up. Tia going to tee off on Puff, but do very little damage just because of all the armor there. Wall went out because we don't have a ribbon yet, so that just gives Puff even more protection than he would normally have with the dragon armor and the Aegis shield. And then of course we got the Tempers coming out. Fast doubles your hits, so if you're doing 2 hits, you do 4 hits. And then of course we've got the Tempers coming out, which adds an extra 14 damage to your attack. So that Silver Sword now starts off with like 22 hit. Each temper adds another 14 to that. So now this thing's about an X-Cal as far as damage is concerned with 2 tempers, and then add another temper, and it's a mass immune. So now that he's doing pretty decent damage now, I mean that was like 387 damage with the Silver Sword. That's pretty awesome. Gonna go on ahead and switch what appears to be some Bane strats here. Try to get the insta kill.
Very low roll Thunder there. That was pretty lucky.
I was very lucky. I can't believe that Thunder only did 99 damage on that Black Mage. But Tia says, you know what? It's fine. I'll just back row you.
Like you do.
Like you do every time. But I think this Tia is not going to be long for this world.
Yeah,
this should do it. Yeah. Tia only has 1,000 HP in vanilla. Because the scaling's around 80%, I imagine her HP was going to be between 500 and 1,500, right?
Yeah.
So
check the scale here. Yeah, 50 to 150. So yeah.
Yeah. So the average of that would have been about 800.
Deadpool's here. We're gonna go turn in that bottle, and he's gonna show you that flag you were talking about earlier, Greg, with the moving of the item shop location in Gaia and the shortcut right here up to the Fairy Spring.
Yep. So best new town mod there, just to have the item there. And then of course we got another vanilla item here with the Axial coming out of the bottle. What is even happening in this game?
This is weird.
This is very strange. So what are we down to? We still haven't seen the vendor item, which is going to either be in the Oasis here.
I think you checked Oasis on the way to drop off the slab, so it's going to be here at Omrak.
Yeah. So we got our shop item in Omrak. We know that we have Waterfall available, and then Incentive C is also a thing as well. We still haven't seen Masa or the Ribbon yet, so obviously one of those is going to be there. We haven't seen the Rod yet either.
Yeah, Rod is our last item we need here for Go mode. So being one item away, I think we'll see him check Waterfall before going into C, maybe, question mark?
Fiery Blizzard. I thought this was a randomizer
Oh,
game.
okay, there's the Rod.
Yeah, so as a new player, vendor items always trip people up. So normally in the game, the caravan has the bottle, right? Well, because we randomize things, a random item will end up in a random shop. So it won't always be the caravan. It will be a random city. So when you go into cities that have item shops, always check them. Always remember to check the shops in cities. Because you don't want to be like halfway through a seed trying to figure out where you're going, and Canaria has like the floater for sale or something. It feels silly. So it's just good to know. But yeah, there's our Rod there. So we are actually in Go mode, right?
Yep.
We have everything.
Yep, that's Go mode. So we have Crystal and TNT outstanding. One of them is here, and we'll turn into the Matza. The other one is in C, and we'll turn into the Ribbon.
And we still have... The only fetch quest we have out there is the TNT. And of course, there it is. So of course, we can't just get the item outright. We've got to, play this game here.
Ooh,
hey,
Black and Katana.
And Katana. What?
Wow, okay. Sure.
Calm down, game. So Katana, that huge crit rate, much better than it is in the vanilla game. And then the black shirt is great. It gives you ice resistance and time resistance. So it's the only bit of gear in the game, besides of course the ribbon, that grants you time resistance. And one of those big spells that does a time thing, of course, is Zap. Zap is time elemental, as is Stop. so it's actually pretty decent. But yeah,
also right here, well, you're not going to see it, but it also gives you free cast of Ice 2, which is, unlimited AoE, which is always nice.
It's more like, I feel like that's more important in the vanilla game because you're trying to preserve those spell charges, and your magic is kind of garbage in the vanilla game. So getting free cast of Ice 2 is great, but not here. You got Ice 3 for days. So here's where you kind of make a call. If you're doing a run, if you're doing a real run, like you're really racing, you're trying to go fast, do you check this incentive? Or do you bank that the TNT will be that Masa, that win condition that you need in order to beat the game? Now, we are pretty low levels.
Yeah.
So I see Dead Pulse obviously coming down here.
Ooh, it's something a stun touch.
It was either the shark or the big eye.
Yeah.
I think it was. Really? You think now?
So in a game race setting, Dead Pulse will be leaving whatever this item is behind. It's going to be the crystal, which turns into something. But because he wants to kind of show off locations and show off getting this item, he's going to go and get it just for the crowd tonight.
Yeah. One other thing I wanted to point out, and we kind of missed it there during that battle, he got stun touched there. He was going to use Cure 4 on his white mage, and Cure 4 in battle will cure any status effect like that. So a poison touch or a stun touch, it will also cure that as well. So there's our ribbon.
Oh, okay, gross.
Yeah, so we know that the TNT will be the crystal, which will lead to the Masamune.
Yeah.
Still having a ribbon is going to be pretty important in my opinion.
Yeah, you throw that on the white mage, and now he's got wall for the fighter, and he's fine.
Everything's okay. Plus, he still needs levels, so taking some battles along the way, which is why he's taking the battles, he'll be fine going into Topher now.
Yeah.
Plus, we still got 2 more dungeons left. We've got Volcano and Earth. I don't see him taking any battles in Earth Cave. And Volcano, you probably won't even see a battle on Volcano because of how low the encounter rate is and all the damage tiles.
Gonna check some more of these free boxes on his way through. Just seeing if he can come across something handy in there, another piece of gear, maybe a white shirt, maybe, I don't know, some kind of free AoE, who knows?
Yeah, being forced to take these sea snakes, it's like the one, oh, no, of course the sea snakes. Of course the sea snakes that died as Zap are the ones that were being targeted by the melee. So. Sea snakes always have so much health.
Yep.
Wants to hang on to the Ice 3s because that shares the same slot as Bane, I think?
I think it does, yeah. Ice 3 and Bane on the same level, I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab the Zeus Gauntlet just for the lit 2s, especially if he runs into those unrunnable dumbs again. And then, of course, the last green check we'll get is just that box there.
That box is 100% free to check as well. It does not advance the encounter table like he was showing off earlier with the doorway and walking along the wall.
Yeah. And even checking the other 2 boxes, you'd probably only add like 4, advance the encounter table by like 4 to check those boxes. But he's got to go at this point. Kind of messed up there. If he had gone down, he would have been able to hug the wall there. But no steal there. Just wanted to point it out. Make him feel good about his run. Looks like he's moved the ribbon to the ninja. Is that what I saw? So he's going to go full on. Yeah, the ninja's going to do more damage here. So as you can see, ribbon's going there. Fast is going to come out. Let's see what kind of damage we're doing here. 6 hits for something. I completely missed it.
225. It wasn't bad.
It's not bad at all. Put Puff in the front for that tankiness.
Yeah, that was only 16 damage on Puff there too by Kraken. So this should be pretty good.
Yeah. So that's 1 temper there. Gonna turn that katana into a crit happy Excal there. Get one more temper there, and you'll be able to get a Masa going. But doesn't look like you need to do that. 7 hits, nearly 600 damage, and we have a dead Kraken. Second hit. 2 more to go.
And two of the faster dungeons here, aside from, well, Sea Shrine is probably faster than Earth Cave, I would say for sure. The one of the fast dungeons and an annoying dungeon left.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. To be honest, I went one day and checked like all the steps if you go mode each dungeon, and I don't remember. I know that Volcano is the shortest by far, but I don't remember which one was shorter. Which one was second shortest between Sea, Volcano, and Sky.
It feels like it would be C, but I mean, just you do a lot of walking through Earth Cave through long floors, so C has more floors. It's weird.
Yeah, I would guess C as well would be the second shortest if you're go moding. Don't go to the mermaid side. Good lord, words. All right, so just this is more of like a routing decision here to go on ahead and head up Earth Cave before doing the TNT to Crystal to Masa, because of where he's located. Just go south, blam, you're right at Earth Cave, and then you can sweep over, do the TNT, warp out, sweep over again, grab that crystal, get the Masa, then head over to Volcano, then head north up to Topher.
Yeah, I think he's also doing this because he did state earlier he wanted to get to 25 to be able to get the 5th hit on the Masa for the night. So you will see him probably Dan off his party and take those Agamas right before carry.
I can see that. Or just depends. I don't know though. With the damage put out he'll do with the Masa and the Katana, I'd be kind of shocked if he grabbed any more levels, especially with the enemy scaling, but we'll see what he decides to do. Yeah, he could potentially Dan off his 2 mages and maybe do like a quick 2-man grind and get those guys up to like, level 25 or 24, like you said.
Yeah, he was saying that earlier, but to your point, yeah, with finding that Katana, that might have changed his thinking. With the Katana and a Masa, even a 2-man party right there in the mid to high teens to low 20s should be just fine.
I wanted to say hi to the corpse of that vampire there. Images being more annoying than their stun touch selves by throwing out Dazzle. That's the vampire's move. Relax.
Calm it down.
Yeah, I think it's hilarious that 30 years later, there would be a book written about vampires that do dazzle when the sun hits them.
They all sparkle and look all pretty. And then one day you can too quick play Batman.
Yeah. At least the one that survived Zap was targeted by a melee, so you didn't have to do 2 rounds of that battle. So yeah, really not much to talk about. May as well just crack some jokes while we're hanging out here. Oh yeah, Zap will always work on the undead. It's like the most effective way to use Zap. Zap actually works against against Lich, but I think he'll be able to do a lot more damage. I don't think Zap.
Oh, there you go. I love it.
Yeah, first turn Zap, of course, comes out before he gets just bludgeoned to death by a silver sword and a katana.
Wonderful.
Cures cardiac arrest. Going off there. All right, so here we go. We got our last couple things. Interested to see if he'll check these boxes. I doubt it. He's got good armor. He's got really good armor, actually.
Yeah,
So,
I don't think he'll check these boxes.
yeah, so there's our crystal we knew we were going to get here. Going to show off our warps. Are we going to hit up some cities for spells, potentially? I mean, we are next to Canaria.
He'll probably stop and get fast at Canaria. I don't think he'll double back for Saber at level 2, but maybe also Temper at level 3. It's kind of quick.
There's our Masa that we knew, of course, would be here. Throw that down on the knight, and we are good to go. Just need to go kill Carrie real quick. Yeah, Saracen pointing out we do have Cure 4 at level 2.
That's true, yeah. If you're going to go for Cure 2 at level 2 for the knight, you might as well pick up Saber on the ninja.
And grab heal 3 here as well.
Yeah.
Well, just a Hail Mary in case things start going really south. And grabbing warp. No zap. We don't need zap.
Yeah, we don't need no zap no more.
Yeah, we know Temper is level 3, so that's a good pickup for your ninja.
Yeah, maybe when he's done with Volcano, he'll swing up and stop by Provoke It if he still wants those level 2 spells. But with Heal 3 level 1, Fast and Temper now, I could see him just going. Dead Pulse likes to go fast. He's slowing things down for us tonight, so he's already twitching, I can tell.
Parked the airship in the wrong spot. Go ahead and move that over. Thank you.
Yep.
So the reason why we parked the airship there is because when you finish this dungeon, that's where it plops you out, so you can just automatically hop into the airship without moving your character.
Mm-hmm.
You can just save and then boom in the airship, call it a day.
Something.
Just again,
yeah, go ahead.
you're probably going to say the exact same thing I was about to say. Just again, the little things that get you just a little bit quicker, saving seconds here, seconds there. That's why Dead Pulse is our SG Live champion. Or no, wait, SG Live runner-up. Oopsie.
Yeah, our
Duckling
Duckling
come in here
Don,
and slap me.
our Duckling Don, my Duckling class champion, Winter Dab champion, one half of the Double Dragon Co-op champions. He gets around.
Yeah, he's kind of good.
Oh, stop, but go on.
Yeah, Duckling Don, Bingo champion.
Yeah. So something you see him doing here as well is he's walking on those damage tiles. That does not advance the encounter table here, which is why you've only seen him take one fight so far. Now 2. But that's another one of those tech things that you see some of the more advanced runners do. You would like to avoid those when you were playing in the old game, but here you want to walk on them.
So once we get to carry, obviously just to heal 3 up real quick. One heal 3 cast saves you like 12 heal pots somewhere in the general area, between 12 and 16 heal pots. That's why it's just so important to grab heal 3, especially if it's a low level.
Yeah.
They're not confusing it, land.
Oh, very nice.
So
she cured herself though.
Yeah. So what Dead Pulse is trying to show us there, that carry is susceptible to status elemental, which of course is confuse and hold, like I mentioned before.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, if you confuse an enemy, they don't actually hit themselves, they cast Fire 1 on themselves. I don't understand why that's how they programmed it. I don't think you can target yourself in this game, which is why they did the magic thing. So it's not an actual attack, it's Fire 1. That's why it does such little damage. Just throwing that out there. So one last little move real quick. Picking up that Cure 4 and maybe Saber. I don't really see grabbing Saber, but we
right here, maybe. Yeah, why not? It could be backup strats if Kraken decides to smack down the knight or something.
Saber is basically a self-casting temper that does 16 attack instead of 14 attack. And it also does something to crit, if I remember correctly, but somebody in chat may have to correct me, or maybe even Dead Pulse, or you can correct me if I'm saying the wrong things. So, and this is what Short and Topher looks like. Again, you just go into one little room here. All the treasure chests that are normally in Topher are located in this room. Saracen helping me out with the information. And a bunch of crap in Topher, so good thing you weren't going to check those boxes anyway. There's our plate, which we're going to go on ahead and use the loot to get by there. That door there would normally be blocked by a key, which I think if he wanted to, he's not going to now, but if he wanted to, he could go back and talk to that door and say something about a mystic key. Lich coming out, he does not want to be trifled with here. He knows he's paper, but wants to throw out a tornado just so you know that he knows that he's, he can attack if he wants to.
Throw out some heal 3s and then finish it off with some heal pots.
Yeah, wants to save those heal 3s for later. Makes sense. White Mage isn't going to really do anything, so you may as well just have her wait. 4 hits for a lot of damage. Let's see if we can kill Carrie. Oh, Carrie has enough HP. Going to throw out one of the many lit 2s in the pool. And that should do it right there. Yeah. Another heal 3. Everything looks pretty good. So they're going to be in order. We got Lich, we got Carrie. Here's Kraken 2. And it's going to be the same on both sides. So if he went left, regardless of whether he goes left or right, you're going to see the exact same Fiend order. It'll be Lich 2, Carrie 2, Kraken 2, and whatever.
Ooh.
TF2.
Blow 2 comes out from Kraken there, but it hits the white mage, so that's okay.
You gotta like it when Kraken 2 targets your back row, but with a dumb spell like Slow 2. Now, Slow 2 would have been devastating on one of the front row, but of course, you know, Kraken 2 always gotta always target the back row, even if it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, sure does.
So using the wall to make sure that the black mage stays alive, I like this play. Actually, and then switches it up and makes sure this ninja stays alive. So. So I don't think, I'm sure Dead Pulse has noticed, but I don't know if anybody else has noticed, but I don't think a single fast has gone off before the melees have attacked.
They haven't. it's been great turn order for our spells.
Thunder coming out. Gonna do, yep, I expected the Black Mage to eat the dirt here, but I think at least the 2 fast should be fine.
Yeah, he'll be okay.
I mean, if he really wants to get some stuff going on, he could throw a saber out there on his ninja. Ooh, 8 hits for 84. That's what happens when a crit doesn't land.
Ooh, Blaze 2.
Oh.
That rolled low again.
Yeah, so that's all 4 fiends right there, and then here's chaos right here. So this is what short Topher looks like. Reason why we decided to go with it is just a little bit easier. Takes a little bit of the RNG away from a long Topher. Long Topher can get scary real quick.
Yeah.
And you hate to like wipe, you know, on a Kraken 2 5 minutes into a long Topher. So we're just kind of making it a little bit easier here. So here we go. We got our chaos battle. We know chaos is going to roll between 1,000 and 3,000 HP. And we're gonna just do our usual stuff. We're throwing out wall. We've got our main melee dealer in the back row here, and we've got our high agility thief gonna throw out the tempers. Black mage is also gonna throw out tempers. Oof, was a big ol' hit out of chaos there. So more tempers, I imagine, are gonna come out. Unfortunately, no more tempers from Luffy. But so he's gonna saber himself up, maybe get some attacks in as well. But no, decides to die. The thieves are good at. Unfortunately, the Cure 4 goes off after he's dead. Doesn't really do much good. Pretty standard turn order nonsense that Dead Pulse has been getting all day here. And now Chaos is deciding, you know what? I want to target the back row some more, because why not? But 6 hits, 1130 damage, and that is a dead Chaos. Official Dead Pulse timer time of 1 hour, 1 minute, 8 seconds. Now, if Dead Pulse was really going for it, he really wanted to, like, if he knew he was in a race, I mean, these flags could easily have been done in probably like 40 minutes. Not that bad. But he could have probably done pretty well on this and trimmed a lot of time off of that. But of course, you know, going over everything, showing everybody all the things, you know, it's just where we are for the time. So hopefully everybody out there, all these new people, these names I don't recognize, like Captain Radix and RP Jesus 01 and Ordi, have enjoyed this. Maybe you learned a thing or two about the old Final Fantasy Randomizer, and I'm gonna let Dead Pulse talk about some stuff. You know, maybe he wants to talk about his little run there.
Yeah, Luffy, why do you hate me?
I'm sorry. I'm watching this and I'm feeling so bad the entire time. But at least you got to show off routing and stuff.
No, that's true. I mean, this was definitely one of the longest versions of this playset I have had the pleasure of running. Because I had to double dip so many places, and the only time that I guessed correctly was going to Sky to get the bottle before checking Gaia for the item, which still wasn't there. But it felt like a win. And yeah, I was absolutely planning on going to level 24 to get my fighter the 5th hit. However, the fact that Fast and Temper were both low levels, the Ninja was going to be level 20, so I had 2-ish casts of Temper. I thought, 4 hits is probably going to be enough.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you, how fun was it to just have turn order just, mess with you the entire game?
I kept looking over my shoulder. I'm like, is DVS sitting behind me? Like, what is going on here?
Never seen somebody be so unlucky with turn order and getting back road and fast going off after things and cure 4s going off after things, and it was pretty wild. But again, it just goes to show that like even the best players out there can, you know, get bad turn order, bad battle RNG and stuff like that. So I actually like watching non-perfect runs here, just to show that not everyone's perfect, obviously, and to show that, you know, seeds can do different things. I mean, that flag set could have easily given you a floater right away, and then you would have been in the air in like, you know, 2 minutes if you wanted to, or you could have done all the things you had to do to get the.
Yeah, one thing that I will say about my early game is I took a bit of a risk, and it didn't really matter in the end. But with the Ryukin Desert on, you want to check all of the incentives that are as quick as possible. So because I had level 1 Warp, I didn't mind going to Marsh Cave. But if I didn't have that, I would have absolutely, with the ship in the canal, gone over to the Sages. And if the floater was there, it's just an immense time save. You only need that one item.
Yeah. So, so everybody that's out there, as you can see, we've got our commands, our race, our FFR. Please join the Discord if you aren't already part of the Discord. You know, check out the Duckling Weekly, which again, we're going to post here in probably like 15 or 20 minutes. Deadpulse is going to post his first one as the new Duckling Don. And then, just you have a whole week to run it, so take your time. You don't have to run it right away. You can run it over the next week or so until the end of next week's Duckling Bootcamp reveal, which again happens here on RPG Limit Break at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because we have entered Standard Zone now. So I don't really have much else to say about this. Do you guys have anything else? Luffy, I know I've talked a lot, and I apologize for that.
No, it's fine. I don't have much to add. I want to thank Deadpulse for running tonight. Thank you, Greg, for being in the comms. Dark Moon for, you know, the restream. RPG Limit Break for the hosts, and all of our wonderful new faces for joining us and watching some good FFR tonight.
Yeah.
I have two things, or maybe three. I can't count anymore. The first is that, so as mentioned before, we have 6 weeks of boot camp. This is week 1. We're going to have 5 more after this before the Duckling Derby. But we also have other events going on in the week. On Wednesdays, we have the Puff and Pulse Variety Hour, in which we're going to do VOD reviews and have a couple of laughs. But basically, if you want personalized attention, this is your best bet. You take one of the Duckling Weekly seeds that we post, run a different seed of it, not the one that's actually posted on the weekly, but you can just generate a new seed for them. Post that in the appropriate channel on our Discord, and we will get to you to do a review. Anyone who posts in the first 5 weeks of boot camp is going to get their review done and streamed so that they can get the personalized attention that they need to become a champion. Also on Thursdays, we have the Extra Credit, which is a great addition because we only have 6 weeks. We obviously can't teach everything with 6 weeks, but Dark Moon has put on a tremendous amount of time and effort making some extra credit flags that can really help boost the holes that we're going to leave because of the shortened time.
I suppose that does give me the opportunity to jump in here and speak all about that right now, guys, if you want me to take over.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think we've said everything we need to say. Just join the Discord, run the Duckling Weekly when you can, and make sure you submit your time. If you have any questions, PM myself or Deadpulse, or you can, at Duckling Derby Boss, and one of us will get to you.
All right, I will take it away from here then. If you like what you saw, want to see more, feel like you might have what it takes to become a part of Final Fantasy Randomizer, and it really is just this easy to join, go to FinalFantasyRandomizer.com. There we have links for the Discord and the development Discord if you're interested in seeing behind-the-scenes shenanigans that our devs get up to. You can check out the Randomizer right there on the website, read all the resources we have on there to help you learn the game, then come be a part of the Randomizer and learn all about it. As they said, the seed for this week, based on this flag set that you just watched, will be posted momentarily on our Discord, and then you can run the vetted seed and compare your times to other Ducklings, and I'm sure plenty of vets will join in as well to participate in these shenanigans. On, what'd you guys say it was? It's going to be the Puff and Pulse Variety Hour on Wednesday?
Yeah, it's going to be Wednesday, same time, 8:30 FFR time, on Final Fantasy Randomizer Twitch.
Yep, twitch.tv/Final Fantasy Randomizer. And then Thursday we'll have the extra credit reveal stream that will look like this, but with the flag set that I've come up with for this week. That will also be on Final Fantasy Randomizer's Twitch channel. And then that evening or the day after Life Reboot will be posting the async seed for that one. That will run for I think it's 4 days up until Monday is how the asyncs work. So you'll have 4 days to participate in that extra credit and try all the fun, weird things that we're doing this week. The flag set this week, I believe, is the benefits of being a ninja. So bust out those thieves, promote them, and find out what being a ninja is all about. So we're going to do that Thursday at 8:30 right there on Final Fantasy Randomizer's website. From all of us here in the booth, we want to thank you guys for watching. We hope you come and be a part of the community. Myself, Dark Moon, Deadpulse, Greg, and Luffy, all here in the booth and doing what we do. So thank you guys for watching, and we will let RPG Limerick have their channel back, and we will hopefully see you guys on the Final Fantasy Randomizer channel on Wednesday.